Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Moe Dunford about Nightride, which is going to be available March 4th. Thank you so much for your time. Welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure, brother. Thanks for having me.
It's an exciting time, right? You have a couple of movies coming out at the same time. What's that like for you in terms of like mindset-wise?
It's good, man. It's good. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think they'd both come out at the same time, but it's a nice coincidence. Lovely little miracles are happening. Yeah, man, I'm embracing it. It's great.
You know, this one, it's really cool. This one is just like you're on the edge of your seat the whole time. I'm curious, when you're putting together a film, is that kind of where the mindset, especially with action and thriller, where, you know, you put together something and you want it to be a good story, you want it to be exciting, but you want people to be on the edge of their seat, right, Mo? I mean, that's kind of the name of the game, so to speak, right?
Yeah, you do. You do. With this, I mean, the director, Stephen Fingleton, always wanted it to be in one shot.
Yeah.
So he sent me the script and said, will you do it? And I said, yeah, it's great. Who's the writer? And Ireland is such a small country that it happened to be a great friend of mine, Ben Conway, right?
Yep.
Love the script, love the American influences, love the Michael Mann references, all of that, you know, and that hadn't really been done for an Irish movie. But then Stephen goes, yeah, we're going to do it in one shot. And I goes, okay. Well, I'm not really doing anything this February in the pandemic in Ireland. Let's do it, yeah. You want the audience to go with it. You really do.
Yep.
And Stephen's idea was you add the reality that the actor is doing the driving. He's operating the calls. He's doing all of it, and it's all done in one take to sort of make the audience feel like that they can't escape, because that's how he feels.
100%.
I know that's how I felt as well at times, I tell you.
It's interesting too, because you also served, I believe, as an executive producer on this film as well, correct?
Yes, yeah, but you know, I didn't do all the heavy lifting.
But it's interesting too, because you know, it's one of those things where in some capacities you were involved with kind of conversations and everything. Did you always know that you were going to kind of produce and maybe kind of not just act on projects, or that kind of just happened for you in terms of being involved with them?
Well, you know, it started years ago on a short I did called Topping Out, and it's essentially I just knew a few people for the Irish locations, and I know a lot of people in Ireland. I don't really work too hard or try too hard when it comes to producing. You go, here, will you give us a favor? Can I crash your salsa dance class, and they do it in the background of the shot and give us the location, and I'll throw you a few euro. And they go, yeah, you know, it's kind of like cheeky chappy. And then, you know, I worked with Ben, the writer of Nightride, on a Boogaloo, and I did a few things there. I know a few festivals, and you know, I've gotten Nightride into a few festivals. In Dublin Film Festival on 1st of March. It's gone to New York on the 5th of March. And they're little things that I sorted out. But the heavy lifting was John Silk, Paul Kennedy, Benedict Turnbull. They did all the lifting on this one. They set it up. They made sure everything was safe. They, you know, I got the locations and the residences for us all. Made everything safe and chatted to the cops. I don't like chatting to cops as a producer. I don't need to do that. You know, I had enough on my plate. You know, they were like, just give me a car and let's drive and shoot.
Absolutely. Moe Dunford is a storyteller. That's basically what you do. Whether it's the writing, whether it's acting, whether it's producing, like it's storytelling. What excites you about storytelling, Mo, specifically?
Well, if you can reach out to someone in the audience, at a cinema or at home, and if you can make them change how they're feeling, be it or positive, or the feelings you and I would get when we're in the cinema, and our love for film. Why is that? What is it about storytelling? What is it about a song that changes you, that makes you feel upbeat or makes you think of love? You know, I think that can be achieved, and we all appreciate it more these days. In these past 2 years, you know, what I loved about this was it was a completely bonkers idea that we do this in one take. But I was like, well, in Ben's writing, there's this cathartic moment where the character changes, and Stephen had such a great way of sort of advancing that, or even taking it off the page and making it more meaningful.
Yeah.
Budge's sort of journey. There's a lot of.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Do you remember?
There's some beautiful things. There's some beautiful things that Stephen does. His choices in this, his choices of music, it really elevates the script.
Do you remember that day where it was brought up to you that this movie was going to be shot in one take? Like, do you remember what was? Because I feel like that's a lot. like
Well, Stephen's great, because Stephen's on the phone. He's like, okay, I've got a good one for you, pal. Okay, I've got one for you here. Are you ready? Here's a great script. Choose a character. Who do you want to play?
Yep.
I was like, I'll play Budge. Like, great, done. He's like that. He's cool like that. He makes things happen. But then he's like, okay, you want to hear something good? Okay, wait for it. It's all done in one take. I'm like, you're crazy, but I love you. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Does it feel like 0 to 100 though when working on it? Because it is one take and it's so fast paced. I'm curious from that, right? Like you get there, like it feels like it's quick, right?
Man, your energy is exactly how my head was when I was doing it. This kind of, I'm feeling it right now. I'm recalling it from a year ago. I'm like, yeah, I was doing, roundabouts.
It's exciting. You did it in one take. I'm excited about it.
Exciting, mate. It's so exciting.
Yeah.
What was cool? Part of the being on board from the get-go was, okay, what car do we drive?
Yeah.
And, I'm in Southern Ireland. He's up north. Stephen's over in Sligo. Paul is up in Belfast. And it's all this it was like trying to pull off a heist. So that was really exciting to be involved in. Wait, I can drive my own car to and from set. I can pick up the producer. I get into my clothes, I get into the car, I drive to set, and we go.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really exciting. That was rock and roll. And, that's part of Stephen's genius, I get. The excitement was we felt like we wanted to do something which had never been done. And it has never been done in Ireland. We're big fans of the one-take movies, but to do the driving for real and to try and keep focus, and I'll be honest with you, Peter, at times it was, fearful.
Yeah.
Can I do this? Can you do this? It's you're kind of up against yourself at times because it's just you in the car. And it was a trip, your adrenaline gets going and you try and keep that at bay. And sometimes you come back and the energy would be too much and you'd have words with Stephen. The next day you'd get closer there. The next day it's there.
Yeah.
And again, we were inspired by Michael Mann, so sort of stoic figure.
It's exciting hearing you speak about that process, Mo, because you look at other projects you've also worked on, like Vikings and recently Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This one obviously sounds like it was very unique in terms of what the film is and what is kind of going on.
I didn't do Vikings in one take, I can tell you that.
No,
if I did, I'd have a very sore back.
You didn't do Texas Chainsaw Massacre in one take either, let's be honest.
No, I did not.
You did not. No, but I'm just saying, like, that's a cool thing to kind of look at it, the perspective, but even like the genres and what it actually is, right? Like you worked in a lot of different genres. Is it cool to look back and look at that you have worked on a lot of different projects too in that capacity?
You know what, man? It is.
Yeah.
It really is. But you know what's even cooler for me is that I met my really dear friend, Ben Conway, in a gymnasium, in a bleeding gym in Dublin years ago. Yeah. That's how I connected with him. And we go down to the pool and, I wouldn't be having any work. There'd be nothing going on for either of us. We'd both be trying to crack things out in our own way. He's a very, very hard worker.
Yep.
And he'd just be like, what do you think of lock? Do you like lock? I'd be swimming. I'd be like, yeah, lock's cool, man. It's like, yeah, I like lock. And then, months later, the sneaky fact is like, Stephen comes up to me, he goes, yeah, Ben has written this sort of lock-inspired sort of thing. And I'm like, of course he has. But the exciting thing, man, was that I've always wanted to work with Stephen from The Survivalist.
Yeah.
And the pandemic, in a weird way, it just, you rely on what's on what can be done. There was no Stephen's that type of guy who was like, it can be done.
Yep.
He's unrelenting. It's like anything can be done.
Absolutely.
And what was the joy for me is when things are sort of curtailed, or if there's too many rules, or if there's too many, you got to stay away, or you have to go through these procedures, and then by the time you get on set, it kind of takes all the fun away. Yep. Stephen is the guy, let's just do it.
Yep.
And I love that because during the pandemic, it made me grateful to be part of it.
Absolutely. March 4th, it's going to come out. And very quickly, I talked to you about this. I mean, because I'm a big horror movie fan and everything. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that recently dropped. That was just a very good time. Was that kind of what was going on in the minds when you were putting that together? You wanted to kind of make just a good time for the audience, like horror movie wise? Because I was on the edge of my seat for that one too. Like, I'm just quick about that. Was that a mindset, just like slasher film, kind of go 0 to 100 type thing with that one?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Respect to the fans. Yeah. Always respect to the fans. One thing I've learned very quickly is horror fans they are hardcore and they really care.
Yep.
They really care, and if it's down the line and if they're on that side, there's another group, they really care. And I'm a big fan of the original.
Mm-hmm.
My brother introduced me to that when I was 16. I just wanted to, it was my first job in the pandemic.
Yeah.
It was my first American role, bro, and I kind of relished the chance of playing a character who's old school, who's in the middle between these young upstarts and old Texas. And I've got a lot of respect for America. I like Americana in movies, but I've got a lot of respect for the old hands, and we wanted to make it as thrilling as possible, so
I had a great time with it. It was a great time, and I wanted to thank you for taking some time to chat with me about Nightride. Seriously, Mo, this was awesome.
Brother, thank you for your energy, and I love your energy. I gotta say, I think it's so cool.
We gotta be excited. What are we doing here if we're not excited? One take, one shot, one take. Nightride, March 4th is gonna be available.
Yeah, brother. Beep. Come on.
This has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Nightride, March 4th will be available. Until next time, it's Moe Dunford and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.